Hello and welcome. This is Rahim Zulfikar Ali from Excel Basement Private Limited. In this video tutorial, we will learn that how we can quickly get started with the Microsoft Power BI dashboards. And in this video tutorial, we will learn that how to create human resource headcount analytics dashboard in Power BI. And this video tutorial is going to be very interesting because it is filled with a lot of tips and tricks. It is filled with a lot of learning resources, designing rules, and also the understanding of data of basically a headcount data which different organizations maintain in Microsoft Excel. And when it comes to understanding of data, how we can get started and how we can import the data and add some custom visuals from app source in the Power BI. So we will learn all these things and let's get started. So we will first understand the data. So we are making headcount analytics dashboard and I have two different data sets of HR headcount. So let's understand this first data set. We have some columns. Let's say employee ID, employee name, category, function, or you can say department, grade, city, country, city and country. This is a field where I have basically concatenate city and country together so that I can put it on a map in Power BI. Country code, gender, a month number and month as a description, because we know that the calendar is in chronological order, so we can sort this month column based on these numbers. Then we have a quarter column, year, and then this particular organization is making one in each row as a record so that it can make an explicit measure for counting, or we can do we can also do count by selecting any other column, and we can apply count a function as well. But they have another helper column of count in which in each of the record the one has been added, so we can count it easily. Now this is a very simplified record. Each employee information is being stored in each row, right? Every employee information is coming in each row as a record. Now we have one more different kind of a data set. Now this is also relates to the head count. So this data starts from branch-wise information. There are a lot of branches of this organization. Then location, in which business group it belongs to. Then a particular set of that business. Department, grade of the employee. Employee category, either he is permanent, office guard, security guard, contractual, local, expect, because in this particular data set we have headcount from local as well as overseas. I mean domestic and overseas. Okay. Then we have a column of company category, company codes, company names. So this particular organization basically located in Pakistan, whereas they have branches in other countries as well, which we say overseas. So Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Yemen. And then how they're maintaining this headcount data is like this is first column is of January 2020, right? And then hiring, exit, early retirement scheme, adjustment, any other reason, and then a balance of the next month, which is Feb 2020. Now every month, now the next month when this file will come to the employee who do the HR analytics. So here in this column there will be Feb and the last column will be of March. Now for example, if I filter one um, number from here, from this column, let's say 5. Now this particular 5 represent 5 employees, 5 different employees, but with the same information. I mean that in a branch which is called PK1940, which is located at FD, which is belongs to a business group of CBG, department 14, the grade of all those employees are OG3. They are permanent, they are located locally, domestic. And in the month of January, this similar kind of employees where all the attributes are same, they are total of 5 people. And nothing has been done, like there was no additional hiring of this same kind of attributes or record, you can say, or any other employee can have exit from that particular organization in that month, and the end balance of for the next month is also same 5. Okay, so this organization is not maintaining each employee data in a new row basically. So they have made something like grouping that if there are more than one people with the same attributes, all fields are same for each of the employee, they are making it as a sum, rather than if we see in a previous data set, this organization is maintaining each employee record as a separate raw. Whereas in this particular data set, which we will make the dashboard in Power BI in a very short time, so this organization with the same attributes they are showing, and also they are showing different attributes like hiring, exit, ERS adjustment in a separate columns, and the total number of that employee in one row, each row. Okay, as you can see here, if I can take another example, so there is a branch which is PK0128. This location is HD, business is com, CB, department is 68, they are OG3, permanent again domestic. So in the month of January there were 5 people, and what happens is within next 30 days that one employee left, which is in the column exit -1, and in the February there is a balance of 4. So this particular number represent 4 number of people with the same attribute entire record. Okay, instead of making 4 different rows, uh, what I want to convey you that instead of making 4 rows, they have made, because the nature or fields were same for all those 4 employees, so they have put as a record in one row. Okay, all right. So after understanding the data, I hope you have understood the data of 2 different organizations. The nature is same. These two belongs to the human resource HR department of head. They are maintaining the headcount with different kind of attributes like function wise, category wise, grade wise, city wise, right? But their approaches are a bit kind of a different, right? So in this particular video tutorial, we first understood 2 different kind of data sets, right? Also in this particular data set, you will find that we can call this particular table as a fact table. This relates to the actual number of employees, what the actually happening in 2 months. Okay, also they have provided some additional information, like if you can see in this fact table, you know the business group as a short form acronym, also the set in a short form. Also you can't read the location because it's all our abbreviations. So they have made dimension tables as well, and in the dimension table you can find that each code of the location pertains to which basically as a description of the location. So for example, if I say CBG, so it belongs to the corporate banking group, right? If I say 205, it's pertain to the company of Bahrain, right? So they have made dimension tables because these descriptions are not available in this particular fact table. So what we can do is when we will import the data, we will make a relationship of one to many between these tables, and that will be called a kind of a star schema, and then we can start making the dashboard. So you can say that this particular data set has a data model, and we will try to create a star schema as well. In the previous data set, uh, we are not required to create such kind of thing because this is a kind of information which this company maintains at their end, and they have function names and categories, or any other thing is in not in the abbreviations, right? So I hope this point is also clear to you. Now let me close this file because I will import this file into the Power BI. Now before going to the Power BI, let me show you something. Let's understand some of the concepts regarding the MVC rule and the CRAP rule, because it will be going to be helpful to you when you create dashboards. And these are available on Google. If you can just write it down, Modal View Controller MVC, or a CRAP rule, which is contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity, you will find a lot of stuff available on Google. So let's start and understand what all these are and why we are using this in making the Power BI dashboard. All right, so model view controller uh, is a rule which says that when you get the data, you may manage or maintain the data in a separate sheet. You insert a new sheet to get all the insight or useful information with the help of formulas and functions. You try to fetch some of the key numbers from the data set, for which you utilize some formulas and functions if you are using in Excel. But if you are trying to do in Power BI, definitely you apply data analysis expression DAX language. So you put it in a separate sheet, and then um, finally you make a dashboard. So if particular we talk about Excel, the data is in a separate sheet, the formulas or any other kind of analytics should be in a separate sheet, and then last, the final layout, in which you will have some objects like charts, sparkline slicers, conditional formatting, and all the visuals, shapes, and different colors, to make an executive report or a dashboard in a separate sheet, right? So it's always say that don't put all your eggs in one basket. So this is a kind of a similar rule, that don't put all things together in one Excel sheet where your data is located and you are trying to do some analytics on the same sheet and then creating visuals on the same sheet. So the MVC says that split your strategy and try to have 3 sheets at least in your Excel dashboards. So one for the data, one for formulas or analytics, and then finally for the dashboard. In the Power BI, you have these things available, and we can try to locate where is the MVC, model view controller. And when I will create a dashboard in Power BI, I will let you know that how MVC works. So I hope you are clear with this rule. So you get the data from a particular data source, either it's offline, the files are available on your local machine, or you are trying to connect live with any other different kind of a data source, and then you are trying to fetch all the data and trying to apply the DAX, creating some explicit measures, and then finally you are putting some visuals on your canvas. All right. The second rule is very important, that is called CRAP rule. Now this is an acronym, and C stands for contrast, R for repetition, A for alignment, and P for proximity. And let's understand each of them one by one. So C stands for contrast. So for example, if you have 4 similar kind of boxes, same color, same size, now how we can put our audience attention towards one of these specific box? So there are some different kind of techniques available. So the first is change the color. Second one is if you can create a border. So you can create a border to any of the box. It will be differently seen and our eyes will focus on different object first. Change the shape, right? So 3 boxes and one is a triangle. Change the size, then position, and then this is example pertains to the distance, right? So this is top to bottom and this is pertains to the distance. So there are some of the techniques in the contrast by, which is color, thickness, shape, size, position, and distance. So these techniques basically you apply on your dashboard to make certain objects different so that your uh, audience look that particular section first. Then CRAP rule, R is stand for repetition. So now this dashboard is related to the training feedback analytics which I created in Microsoft Power BI. So there is a repetition of colors. You can see that a formal theme color of that particular organization is being followed, and repetition of ideas is there, repetition of fonts is there, right? So we need to focus and follow some of the repetition rules like visuals. It can be related to the visuals, it can be related to the sequence of showing the numbers in the dashboard, all those important numbers, and repetition of fonts. So we can't use fancy fonts, or we can't make a dashboard very with very different colors. We need to follow some standard rules, right? So we try to put it as much as simple as we can, right? So repetition could be of color, visual elements, fonts, and ideas. Then also we need to focus on alignment. Uh, it's not right if you can just drag and drop 4 or 5 visuals on your dashboard and you don't do some alignment of that particular visuals, because it will not look neat and clean. So in order to make it according to the standard and meaningful, you need to align all the objects properly. All right, so align says that every edge of every shape with other shapes, and we have options available to select multiple objects together, and we can go to format and do some alignment vertically, horizontally, center very quickly. We can use the alt key or we can use the alignment tools as well. The last craft rule word alphabet was the proximity, right? And it says that the item close together are likely to be perceived as a part of the same group. So once we are finished with our dashboard, now you can see that this dashboard is related to sales performance dashboard, which is also being created in Microsoft Power BI. So you can see that a repetition of colors are there, right? Now all these boxes as slices are being properly aligned, right? These visuals are also properly aligned, right? There is a repetition of colors, repetition of fonts are there. The information which is very important has been placed on top and according to the sequence following at the bottom, which is lesser important, right? So this is how we try to follow the graph rule, contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity in order to make sure that our dashboards look much more attractive, neat and clean, and appealing to the person to whom which we will be submitting to. All right. So I hope you like this rule as well. Now let's come to one more part, which is of creating a background. Now this is a very debatable point that either we can import some good backgrounds in Microsoft Power BI. I usually prefer Microsoft PowerPoint to create a background. Now, why is it so? Let me give you a reason. So I have created a background which is of this style in PowerPoint. And if you say why you have chosen to create a background in the PowerPoint, is because it's for the one reason that if you go to Design tab and click on slide size, so this particular slide is widescreen and it's of 16 by 9. And when you go to the Power BI, when you click on format icon, go to page size. Basically, if you expand the page size, you can see that the type, which is by default, is also 16 by 9. So this means that the size of the slide and the size of this particular canvas is exactly same. So whatever you will be drawing on PowerPoint with your own creativity, this will be exactly very best fit on this particular canvas. So you don't need to have Adobe Photoshop or any other kind of high graphics software to create a background. You can use an other Microsoft application like PowerPoint in order to create some awesome backgrounds, right? So now let me just add this background here. So for adding this background, I will expand page background, and here you can see a button that is called add image. So I have already created that background. I will click on open. Now you can see that the transparency is being set to 100%. So what I can do is I can decrease the transparency. You can put it to the 0 or any other percentage you like. Then you have different kind of image fit: normal, fit, or fill. These are three different behaviors, but normal will definitely assure you that all the edges are properly covered, because as I told you that the size of this particular page of Power BI canvas is 16 by 9, and also this slide size is widescreen and it's also 16 by 9. So you don't need to be a very high graphic designer in order to create some good backgrounds for the Power BI, right? You can do it easily. Now the next thing is that how to add an image. It's very simple. I will go to insert tab, I will click on image icon, and I have this image here. So it's easily inserted in my dashboard, right? Okay, we will also try to add some custom visuals from more visuals app source. And for this, make sure that you have signed in into your Power BI desktop account. Now for signing in, you need a official work email address. Okay, it will not work with Gmail or Hotmail Live or Yahoo accounts. So for that, you need official email. So I have already signed in with an official email, and I can access to the marketplace, or you can say app source, to add some custom visuals as well. All right, before we further proceed towards the dashboards, I would like to add some learning resources as well. When you start creating a dashboard, you need some rules to design a perfect dashboard, right? And for this, you need to search out on the internet that what are different kind of rules which can be added to make your dashboard more interesting in terms of designing, not in terms of analytics, but in terms of designing. So there is one resource which is, let me add this resource as a reference in my this particular video tutorial. That is, the reference link is okviz.com/blog dashboard design rules. And when you go to this page, you will find this PDF file and you can download it free of cost. So there are 15 different rules, right? And you need to read them. So let me just refresh this page. All right. So now every rule has been briefly introduced here. If you want to understand in more detail, so you can purchase the course. Okay. Now the first rule is says design for a target, right? So you with too much useless information, this will not focus on your target. So it basically says that don't lose sight of your goals and make sure that your user understand the target what are trying to convey the message through visualizations. And one thing, remember that your dashboard should be a data storyteller. If it does not fulfill a kind of a data story, then it will not be very worthy to look at this dashboard. So it's not important just to create visuals, it's also important to define that what the business is being actually doing by doing some advanced analytics. But in this particular video tutorial, we will be trying to explore Power BI that in very less time we can do maximum work with this BI tool rather than making dashboards in Excel. And definitely when you read the architecture of this particular application, you will find a huge difference between Excel and Power BI. The second rule out of 15 rules says that keep everything at a glance. Don't try to put as much as scroll bars or clicks or any other kind of things which are not relevant for your dashboard. Keep it simple, align all those elements properly, right? Be consistent, highlight the most relevant information. As I told you in the crap rule, be clear. So acronyms are bad, legends are good. So I hope you understand you don't need to use more acronyms until unless that your dashboard is being seen by a very senior person who knows all the acronyms. Otherwise, legends are good. Start from zero. This says that it's very tricky when you create some charts and you don't use the vertical axis to start from zero. So there is a huge difference. Try it out by yourself. Try to put the similar data into different visuals and start one visual from zero or another from any other kind of a number. So you will find it that the visual will say a different kind of message to you. Then shorten the numbers. If you have a numbers in billions, millions, or trillions, try to short the number so that it should create more readability for the user to understand the number easily rather than showing the full figures. Show the context. This is very important that numbers only carry meaning with their context. Choose the right colors. Colors are very important, and we know that we generally follow the theme colors of our own organization, right? And it also says, do you know that about 10% of the population suffer from color blindness? So if currently you can say that there is a 7 billion population worldwide, 7 or 7.5 billion, so 10% of them are color blindness, right? Then design dashboard, not reports. So primarily Power BI is for designing dashboards, not the reports. But I have seen a lot of users that they are trying to create financials or MIS reports in Power BI, where they put some time intelligence functions, and they try to put them as an interactive report. But primarily they are the Power BI is for the designing dashboards, for the storytelling. All right, so show variations, leave the noise off, don't suggest relation that does not exist. We generally try to put all the things together in one dashboard, just like information related to the HR or sales or any other thing. So or we try to create relationships unnecessarily between two different attributes, so these are not important. Pick up the right charts. It's very important, one of the very important rule of designing a dashboard, that if you don't pick right chart, you will not do correct decision. If you pick the wrong chart, your decision will be wrong. So always pick the right chart, and with the passage of time you will experience and learn that how to pick the right chart. And definitely there are a lot of material available on the internet as well about this particular rule as well. Also, I would like to share this one more learning resources about same website, sqlbi.com. So it says Power BI visuals reference, where you will find again a picture, and you can just save this picture. And it says that when you create a visuals, so you definitely first identify a category that it either the data is related to the comparison, change over time, ranking, distribution, correlation, and according to that you need to follow that particular visual. So as the rule states here, the last rule was pick up the right chart. So for this particular rule, this handout is very useful. So these were some of the learning resources. I hope you will find it helpful. So now let's get start with the making a dashboard. And we will see in this particular video tutorial that how quickly and easy in Power BI to make a dashboard. Now first we need a data. So I will click on get data, and we are bringing that data from our local machine, and Excel file is being saved here. So this file is Power BI HRMDB EBPL, right? So I will click on open, and now in next few seconds I will have a separate window where I need to I will try to import some of the tables which are available in that particular Excel workbook. So now there are four tables: business, company, HRDB1, and the location. And these four tables are uh, available in these two sheets. So I will not bring the sheets, I will bring the tables, these four tables, right? And I will click on load button. So in next few seconds, Power BI is trying to import all the data from that workbook. And you can see that there are four tables: business, company, HRDB1, and the location. And you can just expand and collapse by clicking on this. Simple, very simple. If you remember, we also discussed MVC, model view controller. So the view is basically called this canvas, the final view of your dashboard. The model and the controller. So we find that we have a specific model in our data set, and the controller is basically a database. Okay, so these three buttons all together in my particular definition is basically an MVC, where we can find a model, a view of the data, a view of basically of your dashboard, and a controller which is a data set in different kind of tables, right? So MVC is basically here, and these are kept as a separate in a separate windows. So now you can see here the relationship has been automatically detected by the Power BI. This is a good thing. And let me just drag and drop each table to its proper place so that you can see. So in the middle I have put the fact table, and all on the different corners there are these are the dimension tables, and the relationship has been made, right? So this is we can say a kind of a star schema basically has been created, right? And after star schema, on this data tab we can click on any of the table and we can view the data. And finally, if we go to the report view, you will see a canvas where we just put a background and an image as well. So now we have imported the data set, and the next and the final part is that creating a dashboard, and we will try to add as much visuals, relevant visuals, and in next few minutes we will be finishing with the HR headcount analytics dashboard. So as you can see that this company basically has is working in Pakistan and also has overseas branches, and there is a field called field name. So you can see that Pakistan, Qatar, UAE, Yemen, Bahrain. I need to convert them into a slicer, but I want them to not to convert them into a simple slicer, which we usually use in Excel or in also in a BI from here. I want their flags. I want them to convert into a flag, and when I click on any country flag, the data should be filtered. So I want a slicer of flags, images. So how to get that? Now this kind of visual is not available here, so definitely we need to access the app source, right? And as I told you that for accessing the app source, you need to log in with your official work email address. So I will go to the app source, and it will show me a window in next few seconds where I can search for a slicer which can shows the flag of countries. So in the search bar I will write flag, and now you can see that this very first custom visual which is called enlightened world flag slicer, I will just click on add button so that it should be add on my this visualization pane. Now you can see that it says that import custom visual. The visual was successfully imported into this report. All right, so I will click on this visual, and I will just simply put or drag the company name on top of it, and in next few seconds, boom, wow. So all countries has have flags has been shown here, and when I click on any of the country flag, it will work as a slicer because it's a slicer, but it's the image slicer of flags of different countries, right? Now I can do some customization as well. So I will just drag this ellipsis, and which is called three dots. Some says three dots. I say ellipsis, right? And I can go to the format, and I can just try to off the title so that the space can be consumed. I don't want the background, so I will just make sure that it's off, and I will just resize this object, right? All right, so now I can just put it to the proper place where I want, right? Now I want to add a title here. So for adding a title, I need a text box, so which is available on the home tab. I will click on text box, and I will write human resource head headcount analytics dashboard. So we can do it to the center, and we can increase the size of this particular font. You can just drag this visual, go to the visualization pane, and make sure that you have turn off the background, and let me make it a bit bold, a bit bigger, right? All right, so it says human resource, says headcount analytics dashboard, right? So I think it looks neat and simple. Okay, now the next thing is that I need a scroller. If you have visited some of the website, you find that a kind of a marquee, a scroller bar comes from right side towards the left, and it shows you some numbers. Most of time you have observed in stock exchanges websites or currency exchange websites. So this kind of visual is also available in the app source. So I will go to app source and I will write a word that is called scroller. So the scroller is there, and I will click on add. So it's imported, and I will just click on this scroller. The scroller object will be added, and I want that this particular scroller shows me function wise head count numbers. All right. So what I can do is I can just pick the right field from here. So let's say business group description, and the numbers for the month of Fab, because Fab is the latest month. And now you can see that liabilities deposit headcount is 1185, overseas 551, service and qualities. Okay, that belongs to the business description. What about other thing? We can also set it by location, or we can also set business group. So let me just give me a minute. All right, so now it shows that how many permanent are there, how many guards and officers or expect are there. We can also do the formatting of this visual. I will go to the format and I will close the title. I don't want title. The background is looks neat, black. um, Scroller font size and speed you can increase or decrease as you like, and font size will be 25. 25, right? And let me check if we can change the font. Okay, so we have this choice, these limited choices. So we can put it, and we can turn off the background of this visual as well. So I will click on background to turn it off, and I will just drag and drop this visual where I want. All right, see, beautiful, right? So now when I click on any of the country, so it says in Qatar there are 32 expect, local are 7, secondaries are 0, right? When I click on Pakistan, definitely now it changes because it's filtering. It's a filter, flag image filter, right? And when I go back to all, I can just, all right, now we will add some visuals. So what we want grade wise people. It's very simple. You just drag the grade, you drag the figures for the month of Fab, right? And just click on any of the visual which you like that it would be best fit. For example, this one, right? All right, so now we are going to add some important visuals on this canvas. So let me just get start with it. All right, so I will have a grade field, and then I will put Fab month amounts, and I will convert this visual as a bar chart, right? And now you can see that this has been sorted from highest to lowest, so the guards are been coming on top. Whereas if you want to be follow the hierarchy just like we follow in organization, like the senior most designation here is SVP, then VP, AVP, right? And then officers, OG, and then officers, office boys. So this is called chronological order. Now for sorting in chronological order, you need a one extra column in your data set, and you can just sort this particular descriptive grade column to that particular number column, and it will be sorted as a chronological order, right? So I have also recorded a separate video on my YouTube channel, Excel Basement Private Limited, in which you will find a playlist called Power BI with Rahim Zulfikar Ali. So you can watch the video of how to sort month list from chronological order, and you can get that concept from there. But for now, in the meantime, we are trying to just put the visuals here. Company category, and then fab, and we can transform that as a donut chart, right? And we can change the colors and all these fonts and things. Like we can go to the format tab. What we can do is we can just turn off the background, right? And we can go to data colors, expand this, and have some relevant colors for your head counts overseas, right? We can change the position of the legend, like we want at bottom center, right? We don't want title for that. We can understand that this is domestic and overseas. Scroll down, change the color as a black. You can also increase the text size, right? Then you can rename the title as well and put it on the center. So how you can do it, you can just expand the title, and you can say that head count by company category, head count by company category, and that could be put on alignment as a center. Size is 14 is fine, right? Then we can go for these what we can say, these numbers which are coming in our donut chart. These are detailed labels, so we want to have a black color for that. And then display units are auto. If the numbers are big in some of the databases, so you can just transform the display units. You can change the display units. If you don't want decimal places, you have to put 0 here. You can increase the text size which you want, okay? And if you want a total number of the head count, if you would like to have that, you get the fab and turn and transform this visual into a card, and make sure that you can do some formatting as well. So data label should be in auto as let's say none. So 16,224 in the month of Fab. We need to turn off the background, right? And we just need to resize this a bit smaller that it could adjust, and we will make a grouping of these two different visuals. So let me just do some settings. I don't want category to be off, and then data label size is 45, so I can do is like 18 or a bit bigger. 24 is fine, I guess, right? And I will press control key and I will select the second object as well. I will go to the format, and I will click on group to make it one. All right. Now the next thing is that I need to put some numbers also. If you want to create a border for this visual, I think this will be a good thing. So just go to the format area and make sure that you turn on the border. Data labels, title will be head count by grade, and let's put it in center. Okay, make sure that you have turned on border as well. right? And what we Multilaw Card. So I will just click on Multilaw Card and I will just drag and drop the fields. January 20, then hiring, then you can say exits, early retirement schemes, any other adjustment, and then at the end the current month. And I will just resize this visual right here, and I will try to format this visual. So all the similar steps: turning off the background, increase the font size, title, location wise top 10. So locations, and for the month of Feb, and we just need top 10 locations. So I will just use the filters pane, and from here in the location, instead of basic filtering, I will select top n, and I need top 10 based on February field, and I will click on apply filter, right? And I will just format it. Alignment center. Alright, so now the dashboard is ready to use, and all the relevant objects has been placed and all the visualizations have been properly aligned. And also we have focused on the designing rules which I told you earlier in this video tutorial. So now we have what we have done so far is you can see that the dashboard is almost complete now. And let me quickly give you summarize points that on the footer you can see Excel Basement Private Limited. This is a text box. Excelbasement.org. This is a text box. I have also inserted 3 social media images: Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. What more you can do is you can click on this image and mm, turn on the action and put a URL. Select the type web URL and then put a URL address. So what happens next is when you click when you upload this dashboard in the cloud, and when you click on it, so it will redirect you to your YouTube page, and from the desktop you have to press Control plus click, right? So you can assign an action on this particular image as well. All right, and then also we added one more visual, which is the gauge chart, in which you can see actual versus target. So we have 16,000 almost employees. The target was to hire 17,000, and the maximum was around 19,000. So this is gauge chart. Also we have added some column charts based on headcount by grade, headcount by location, and a bar chart of headcount by category. We have put 2 slicers in our dashboard, that is business wise and a company category wise. So when I open this filter, and let's say if I select domestic, so only the position of Pakistan has been filtered, because we know that this particular company is being located in Pakistan. And you can see that the flag slicer is also being filtered, so only Pakistan flag is shown, and this all position is of domestic, right? And when we just select the, let's suppose, overseas, so overseas includes the Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, and Yemen, and this is the position of overall overseas branches of this particular headcount. And when we select all, so this is the total position. We can also filter accordingly by business. For example, if I just select the agriculture, so this is the position. Agriculture is only in Pakistan. If we can go for branchless banking, now you can see that. So you can filter it out, and accordingly all the visuals get filtered. And this is dynamic dashboard. We have not used any kind of DAX still yet in this dashboard in this particular video. Now you have explored that it's very easy to create these kind of dashboards in Power BI with in very less time. What you need to a bit more focus on is the designing rules and also the formatting portion. So all the things regarding the formatting you will find here, and one by one you can just click on it change the size of the text, just turn off the background colors, make borders to the objects and make it proper align, and you use the graph rule which we already discussed in the video, and also the 15 designing rules. So I hope you like this video, and you will try. I will put this data set on the description of this video. You can download it and try to make more good designs than this one, and share it with us. Thank you so much.